着雄先们来到凤山体育馆参加今日的赛事。今天是高雄17直播钢铁人铁定有你的主题日，大家可以在大荧幕上面刚看到。很感谢呢这一季各位雄青对于钢铁人的支持，不管是逆境或者顺境，都因为有你们，我们才可以持续的努力下去。今天呢，我们离季后赛剩下最后1里路，好想知道在家打季后赛的感觉。想体会这种感觉的雄青，先来一点掌声加尖叫好吗？希望雄青们今天可以尽全力为球员加油，球员也将用500%、1000%的表现回馈给各位雄青。今天呢，除了来了满场的雄青之外，也来了相当多位的贵宾，我们要一一介绍，为各位介绍第一位来自17 Life 全球产品部副总 Chris Pasley，Welcome。17 Life JP 经济部经理 Fujiko，Welcome。17 Life JP 活动部总监 Taka，Welcome。以及动视暴雪在地与屏保总监及台湾负责人 Jessie Lin， 你好，欢迎。资深品牌公关经理 Deborah Chan， 欢迎你。也欢迎今天的企业包票、台湾应用材料的伙伴们，你们在哪里？来点尖叫声。好的，感谢现场的雄青。雄青们，如果你手上已经有拿到折扇的话，记得今天随时保持热情，拿出你的折扇，用力的拍哦。现在，让我们欢迎17直播主播仙女下凡，歌声让人如痴如醉的灵魂歌姬 BB 张博萌带来精彩的表演，掌声鼓励鼓励！
凤山的朋友，大家好。
现在吼不停，越迫近眼里看不清，谁急速狂飙，这一生的泥泞。不确定我要去哪里，我天堂要掉过地狱，也不恐惧，不逃避。这不是脾气，是所谓志气与勇气。你能推我下悬崖，我能学会飞行。谁的命令很独立，耳朵用来听自己的心里。命运一直走，是一颗宝石就该闪烁。都应该有梦，有梦就别怕痛。命运一直走，是到阳光就该暖和。都应该有梦，有梦就别怕痛。泪水在吼不停，不过尽管你看不清，黑色童话是给长大的洗礼，读的才是流行，无法复制的自己，让我脸受伤也有心。这不是脾气，是所谓志气与勇气。你能推我下悬崖，我能学会飞行，从不停。谁的命令很独立，耳朵用来听自己的心里。命运一直走，是一颗宝石就该闪烁。都应该有梦，有梦就别怕痛。命运一直走，是一颗宝石就该闪烁。都应该有梦，有梦就别怕痛。有时候掉进黑洞，有时候发现彩虹，在下一秒钟，命运如何转动，没有人会晓得。我说希望无穷，你在美梦成空，相信和怀疑总要决斗。命运一直走，是一颗宝石就该闪烁。都应该有梦，有梦就别怕痛。命运一直走，是到阳光就该暖和。都应该有梦，有梦就别怕痛。命
的比赛顺顺利利的。
再次感谢仙女下凡 BB 张国梦带来精彩演出。接下来让我们欢迎最有活力的钢铁人啦啦队，钢铁女神雅典娜带来精彩的舞蹈表演。再次尖叫声，感谢钢铁女神雅典娜，谢谢他们。本场赛事将由高雄17直播钢铁人在自家主场迎战前来挑战的桃园璞园领航员。现在为各位介绍客队球员名单。背号1号丁恩迪，背号4号艾尔斯，背号5号林子伟，背号6号关达佑，背号12号李佳康，背号15号陈冠全，背号21号陈立焕，背号27号张镇雅，背号28号施晋尧，背号30号白耀成，背号42号霍许本，背号69号卢俊祥，背号00号陈玉瑞，总经理陈信安，总教练Camilo，助理教练Diego黄启峰，助理教练兼球队发展总监杨一峰，数据分析师柯焕维。谢谢亲爱的雄青，你们是钢铁人不断努力的动力。 备好了没？让我们欢迎高雄一期直播钢铁人球员进场。首先出场的是高雄一期直播钢铁人最可爱的吉祥物，背号65号 ，Number 65， 艾恩。背号2号 ，Number 2， 他手 J， 后场大心脏，雄心们口中龙的传人。J West 张学伟，背号8号，手起刀落，出手绝不想太多，钢弹少年王绿翔。背号11号。随时做好准备，展现劲爆体能，林君豪。背号14号，不止爱狗，更爱防守，阳光男孩邱伯章。背号18号。钢铁禁区之主，大港回归林志伟。背号20号，醉汉的钢铁巨塔 ，A.K.A. 钢铁身重宽 ，A.K.A. 凤山彭于晏孙思尧。背号23号，用最努力的态度回馈给雄心，钢铁战斧蓝少辅。背号77号，野兽派防守人来疯射手张博伟。为各位介绍先发5人名单。背号0号 ，Number 0， 进攻万花筒，帽子又放的是种 style，emoji 表情包本人 ，Baby 铁女。背号5号 ，Number 5， 得篮板者得天下，拿帮东西温的糖果杀手 ，Candy Crush。Wendell Lewis Wonder， 背号4号，钢铁人最临危不乱，你永远猜不透的冷面杀手，大满贯新人王陈佑伟。背号13号。球队的精神领袖是射手，不是投手。南无阿弥陀佛 ，Captain 吕正如。The last one， 各位雄亲，你们准备好了吗？背号7号 ，Number 7， 信我所行，说到做到，这就是我的人道。从零开始 ，Ladies and Gentlemen，Jeremy 林书豪。总经理高景言，篮球事务营运长兼总教练郑志荣，助理教练韩一平、洪启超、李婉如，个人技巧教练兼球队翻译林冠军，助理体能教练陈胜权，影像分析师陈嘉轩，防护员黄玉俊、包俊兴。Jay, you ready?
1, 2, 3,
Steelers！ 现在把场上时间交给双方球员进行赛前热身。想要拿到海报的雄亲们，来点尖叫声！
I keep dripping, hit him with finesse. Ooh, ooh, wet. Every day I wake, I know I'm blessed. Ooh, ooh, wet. Pull up like I barely hit the net. Ooh, ooh, wet. I don't stop until I break a sweat. Sweat. Ooh, ooh, wet. I keep dripping, hit him with finesse. Sweat. Ooh, ooh, wet. Every day I wake, I know I'm blessed. Blessed. Ooh, ooh, wet. Pull up like I barely hit the net. Wet. Sweat. Sweat. Ooh, ooh, 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 wet. 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 Ooh, wet. 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 Ooh, ooh, wet. 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 Ooh, wet. 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 Ooh, ooh, wet. Sweat. 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 Keep on looking in the mirror, yeah. Put it through the brick and get clear. Ooh, shield my heart from the tears. Ooh, rice bag kiss it get wet. Ooh, slip and slide out of last year. Facing my ocean of fears, trying to take it to a new tier. Evaporate, I disappear when it get too hot around my peers. Yeah, I'm off the boards, trying to ride the wave. I'm at the port, I'm charging when I'm drained. My news feed, my breakfast for my brain. Yeah, I need my retinas fixed. I'm in the pool, trying to stay afloat. Driving through the lane like a boat. Buzzer beater, pressure make a go. If I hit it, it wins. Nah, nah. I don't stop until I break a sweat. Ooh, wet. I keep dripping, hit him with finesse. Ooh, ooh, wet. Every day I wake, I know I'm blessed. Ooh, ooh, wet. Pull up like I barely hit the net. Ooh, ooh, wet. I don't stop until I break a sweat. Sweat. Ooh, ooh, wet. I keep dripping, hit him with finesse. Sweat. Ooh, ooh, wet. Every day I wake, I know I'm blessed. Blessed. Ooh, ooh, wet. Pull up like I barely hit the net. Ooh, ooh, wet. Sweat. Sweat. 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 Ooh, ooh, wet. 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 Ooh, wet. 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 Ooh, ooh, wet. 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 Ooh, wet. 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 Ooh, ooh, wet.
And if the beat live, you know Lil Juke made it. Body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. Body, yaddy, 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 yaddy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youth. Welcome to the last week of the Plus League regular season. It's the Taoyuan Pauian pilots wrapping up their season against the Kaohsiung 17 Live Steelers. We're here in Fengshan Stadium for the last weekend of action in the regular season. The other home games will be hosted by the Lioneers up in Hsinchu, but 2 games here to determine the 4th seed in the playoff standings. Expecting a sold-out crowd here in Fengshan Stadium, home of the Steelers. They have already begun facing elimination. In fact, last Saturday after the Dreamers won, their clinching number dropped down to 1 with 1 game to play. And the Steelers that night had to beat the Braves, which they did. And now they have to face the playoff-bound Pilots today. And if they're successful this afternoon, they could have a final showdown with all the marbles at stake against the Dreamers tomorrow. On the Mandarin broadcast, it's Kyle 周崇凯 and 蔡晴晴。各位朋友们，你找到了 Plus League 的英文转播，谢谢你的收看。但你要看周崇凯跟蔡包的讲评，当然就要转到官方的中文连结。谢谢你收看，记得我们的转播都要按赞。It's just me, Ryan Chen, solo on this afternoon's broadcast. the conditions for the Steelers making the playoffs, having right now sitting 1.5 games behind the Dreamers. They have to win today, of course. And then tomorrow, in the most simplest terms, they have to not only beat the Dreamers, but also win by 6 points. There's also other conditional tiebreakers in the middle of it that might have something to do with today's game, but that's the path to success if you're Coach Tony Zenzilo and the helm for the Steelers on the bench. A few small other nuggets. The Pilots are going for their first 500 season or even win-loss record. Long lines outside for the final weekend, maybe, for the fans to get to watch Jeremy Lin in his inaugural season as a pro here in Taiwan. Probably the biggest crowd that the Pilots will be playing in front of, at least down here in Kaohsiung, we would expect in that sellout. In fact, they made the first season's playoff with only a record of 10 wins and 14 losses as they took 3 out of 4 teams. Now, Jeremy Lin, it took a little bit of time, but he finally accumulated a number of triple-doubles as his stats have been off the charts since joining the Plus League, having previously been a little bit iced in the mainland, the CBA. But after regrouping himself back in home in California and signing up with the Steelers, making a huge impact. And the improbability of the season, the Steelers lost 6 games in a row, beating the Plus League record of 3 losses in a row. They went from 2-17 to start the season to now 6-22, a 14-5 stretch, which is a winning percentage of 74%. Would be the #1 in the Plus League, as the Kings have recently fell a little bit to 69 percentage points on the win columns. But one of his good mates in the pre...
这礼拜出什么招吗？我觉得也没有特别出什么招啊。那当然，这礼拜可能比较有趣的就是因为书豪就是连续拿了那个 MVP 嘛，那霸榜之后刚好他这个月拿到，所以他就丢了一些奖金，那是 double 的奖金，然后放在中场让我们丢，让大家可以就是练完球会比较开心一点。那当然也很谢谢他，然后也请我们吃点东西这样子啊，对。龙我在这边，因为他今天也是转播嘛，对不对？龙我在这边感谢名球评左传凯先生提供了这一双帅鞋。那当然就是之前可能有稍微提到，就是在比赛前他突然拿了这双鞋给我，那就说学长加油，这双送你，这是我对你们的支持。那也希望鞋子可以带给我们好运。那当然我今天还是一定会穿上它，那也会带着他的给我的礼物。那让我们可以好好的去打比赛，然后也希望可以往好的方向去前进，这样。
Captain Lü Zhenlu shouting out former teammate and Kyle for the Kobe kicks that he wore last game to a strong performance against the Braves. Previously answered what kind of team atmosphere has the Steelers been experiencing. He shared the story of Jeremy treating the boys to some snacks and of course some beverages as custom here in Taiwan for strong performances. And he hopes to carry that until the end of the season for Lü Zhenlu and the hot shooting. Getting another look, there's still a line ongoing outside to get in the arena here at Fengshan Stadium. The team going through a rebrand, and after last year finishing 5th, that still could happen, but they're certainly a lot closer to a potential playoff spot. Lü Zhenlu actually had 2 games where he was a little bit cold, both against the Kings, only 1 for 11. But the last game, 18 points on 6 made threes on the opposite side of Goku Natason to provide the firepower for the Steelers to beat the Braves. Though he's been a workhorse for the Steelers, he hasn't played less than 22 minutes played since January 29th, which is a 22-game stretch. Though admittedly, it won't be that easy today, as to share with the audience, the air conditioning in Fengshan Stadium not working at full capacity. But before that happened, we caught up with Ayao, sitting out for the Pilots, who's been the workhorse for them. 28 straight games to start the season, but 5 off.
因为这一场毕竟是例行赛最后一场，我觉得大家就可能会平常心吧，因为毕竟这场打完后，接下来面对就是季后赛，所以说教练应该会给平常上场不多的人就是多使用，因为可以看看说有些球员看季后赛可不可以这样上来承担一些就是攻守之类的。教练会想一些新的政策去对富邦啊，因为毕竟富邦真的也是一个老经验的球队，我们也是很年轻，所以说我们要在一些防守上啊，还是进攻上做一些改变，这样才可以去跟他们对抗。这样。
Shi Jinyao, his best game of recent being April 30th at the Dreamers for 19 points, sharing that the team is trying to maintain a regular attitude or a normal approach to the game, but the big thing with today's game, and we can also throw in last Sunday's game against the Braves, is that Coach Comunis is trying to rotate those young guys in there, see who he can call upon in the playoffs. Now, asked about the outside shooting improving for the Pilots, said that they've been kind of retooling their schemes and strategies, and they got to be ready because the Braves are the 2-time defending champs and still a strong contender this year, right now sitting in the second place spot, ready to go to start the playoffs Saturday. The theme for the weekend is 铁定有你, which is roughly translated to gotta have you, to thank the fans for their support of the Steelers and some new ones joining in late. Chen Hongming will be the crew chief of this afternoon's officiating staff, and on the Pilots starting lineup, Xiaobai, Bai Yaochen, Jackie Li Jiakang, Ma Yaosu, Zhang Zhenye next to Washburn and Amdi. And on the Steelers side, Jeremy Lin next to Jerry Chen Yongwei, Captain Liu Zhenlu, who we mentioned, Femi Olujobi, and Wendell Lewis, making his 13th straight appearance for the Steelers, as he's been heavily counted on for the team in red. A couple more notes on how improbable this Steelers run has been. They lost the first 4 games against the Braves before March 10th, which of course had Jeremy Lin in it, and now they've won 3 of 4 games. And then they lost the first 3 games against the Pilots before March 5th. Now they've won 4 in a row, and then lost 2 straight against the Dreamers before January 8th, when they've already started alternating wins and losses. There's the ceremonial tip as we get everything else in order. As mentioned, the Steelers in their red jerseys and the Pilots in their classic whites. Jason Washburn wins the tip for the Pilots. Mentioning again that they're trying to make it to 500 on the season, as Zhang Zhenye missed his first 3. He hit the first one against the Braves on the same elevator action. Now it's time for the Steelers to get set up. Olujobi to Lewis. Jeremy guarded by Jackie and Ethan. Until Tonyoue left wide open, but it'll be off as Lewis showing off his flexibility, putting that one back. We get started with the Steelers on the board. Li Jiakang from the elbow, no good. Try to make an individual move, which the number one thing for Li Jiakang is in there for a defense. Olujobi aims one up, and he bottoms the 3. A 5-0 start for the Steelers, who definitely want to try, if they can, to put this game away early, as they have a back-to-back tomorrow against the Dreamers, who only have 1 game this weekend, are doing their best to game plan against the Steelers and win that 4th spot. Into the corner, out to Washburn. Getting touched up. He'll have 2 free throws coming up, as Liu Zhenlu who applied a little bit too much pressure there. Another look at Olujobi in his made 3 on the season. A 29% three-point shooter, but now Washburn sinking the first. A 76% free throw shooter. He was the only import in there for the Pilots, and good news for Coach Caminos so far, and will only be the only game for the Pilots with only one import. See some of the road fans in attendance. Jeremy bringing it up meticulously against Jackie. And they rotated to the side. Taoyuan this time with an air ball. Now Ethan trying to get by. Had that one stripped from the side, and it's a turnover. That's one part that the Steelers have improved quite a bit. Trying to apply a little bit more pressure and create more havoc against the opposing offenses, as Olujobi can't make it 2 in a row, getting screen by Chen. So after the first set play, Pilots running their flow-flowing offense. Andy will try for 3. That one's in and out. Rebound right to Taoyuan. Pilots definitely want to slow the pace down when they're at their best defensively. Anyway, looks off the shot. Now on the catch and shoot. On the way, and it still can't get it to fall. Not listed as one of the Steelers shooters by reputation. Has improved on the second season, and Taoyuan can't make it a second in a row either. Now Jeremy going to work and crawling it in. Obviously, one of the best finishing in the mid-range now in the Plus League. Ethan will try, it's a little too strong. And the Pilots have now started over from the outside. We'll poke it out of bounds. There you get to see Jeremy utilizing the spin boost, which he loves to do. You can check out the live stats, PLEAGUEofficial.com. Quick double team. They leave Jerry open, who bounces that pass off of Wendell Lewis's hands. The referees are going to have a little conference on that side. The Pilots are walking down. Let's see what the referees say. They changed the out-of-bounds call. Not too surprising. So officially 0 for 4 are the Pilots. Pilots are playing the same 5 to start the game as last week against the Braves, and 3 rookies in there. Now Jerry from about 15 feet as Lewis gets another putback. Wendell Lewis, one of the latest arriving imports in the Plus League. He had 19 points, 9 rebounds last Saturday. There's a whistle. Will be another foul on the Steelers. It's on Jeremy, it would be his first. There you see nobody in there to help out with Wendell Lewis. The funny thing about Jeremy's first triple-double, which he scored 50 points, tying a league record. Andy rolls to the basket, has touched, and will get the and one opportunity. Wendell Lewis committing the foul. Keep a note of that. Early fouls for the Steelers to open things up. See, D&D, he's getting a lot more minutes, especially with the Pilots' local big league. Chen kind of working off a number of injuries. Pauian will come in for Taoyuan. And he completes the three-point play the old-fashioned way. Now Pilots showing a little bit of a zone. Wang Lixiang right away, firing away. Down to Washburn, one of his first touches of the game. The double comes, goes to a fadeaway, a beauty. One of Jason Washburn's favorite moves. Especially when he's on that left block there. So Jeremy avoids the steal attempt, now tries for three himself, but off to the right. Pilots with a little chance to run. They miss Amdi down the middle. Now they get it to him. After rotating around, Jackie gives the screen out to Ethan. Getting into the mid-range himself, but good defense forcing a miss. Well, 9-7 is the score as the teams are trying to heat up their shooting hand. Ojobi made one earlier, but halfway down and out. There's Lewis once again, and a third putback. Not too happy about the rebounding effort for Coach Camino. Steelers still end up at the almost alley-oop attempt there. No one guarding Zhang Ziya cutting through on the quick turnover and transition. Not to be outdone. Little Lou probing, but looking for his teammates. Liu Zhenlu, they leave him open, and his first shot grazing off the back iron. A little bit of pressure, they'll be out of bounds. And our first chance to catch our breath as the Steelers open things up with a 2-point lead against the Pilots. They have to take this one to keep their playoff chances alive. We'll be back after this.
好的，现场雄亲们可以看到，现在是真鲜 Plus 的大口吃寿司 Camp 的活动，请张大嘴巴一起大口吃寿司。我们可以张开嘴巴，没错，标准动作，谢谢您。下面一位，我们的雄亲，可以看一下大荧幕。好，我们的雄亲还张大嘴巴吃寿司。好，我们来标准动作，请展示一下，非常好，谢谢你们。来，各位雄亲，被我们的 Cam 拍到的话，记得张开你的嘴巴。好的，张大嘴巴吃我们的寿司，有真鲜 Plus 满足 Plus。好的，再次感谢所有现场所有。
Like the stream if you like some late season drama. The second to last day in the regular season, it's a hot contest between the Pilots and Steelers, pun intended. So far in the game, the leading scorer is Wendell Lewis with 6 points on 3 putback attempts. And that was a note I had in the pregame. The Pilots have lost the rebounding margin in 3 straight games. To the Dreamers, to the Lioneers, and to the Braves. They won 1 out of 2 to clinch their important playoff spot and 3rd seed. Washburn out to Ethan, and they try to get the repost as Lewis, active hands, puts it out of bounds. Jason Washburn and Jeremy Lin, former teammates with the Hornets of the NBA. Washburn will fire away, but it's a brick. Long rebound to Zhang Ziya, who saves it in. And the referees recognize that there was no touch of the rim, so a shot clock violation. And after just one possession, Jeffrey Curtis Ayers is in it for Amdi. Quick foul on the other side. Ethan trying to check Jeremy. Jeff Ayers and Sonny Sakakini were listed as injured, and that's why the Pilots only played with Jason Washburn against the Braves, but made a good run at it. Little Lou will fire away, and this time rattle it in. Trying to improve on their shooting percentages that has seen quite a dip. Ayers at the high post. Making the handoff now, screening and re-screening as Ethan trying to slice through, though there's a whistle. Looks like not the primary defender was a little too handsy, as if it's Jeremy, that'll be his second. Did I finish the story about his first triple-double? He did foul out of that game with 4 whole minutes to go. And stepping in his shoes, but not necessarily taking his role. Jamarcus had 10 points in the quarter. Remember, Justin Udrishan will miss his first 3. Trying to find his form back as well. Down low to Lewis, can't make it. Trying to feed him. The assist was Chokwo-Zang, who hasn't played in a number of weeks. As Washburn again trying to fade away. Didn't quite get the angle. A couple Pilots ready to check in. The lead is 5 as Little Lou had that one stripped, but right to the hands of Lewis. That's a deflection. Right back to number 8 and another one. Right now, the Steelers 3 for 11 shooting the 3. The Pilots 0 for 6. Out to Ayers, he lines it up and finally gets the Pilots on the 3-point made column. They run a horn set as Little Lou played physical by Si Jinyao. Referees don't let that go. Washburn and Ethan will get a rest for Pong Pong and Killer Guan Dayo as we get another look at Wang Lixiang knocking down a second 3. Sun Siyao, or Mouse, is in for the Steelers. Quick possession for Jeremy, out to Lewis, hesitates, now tries 20 feet. He's got to make up for that shooting contest that he and his part of the squad lost out on the night before their Braves game. Ayo tries 3 and he got it. So the Pilots now have made 2 in a row. It's going to be big for them and their confidence. Little pistol action, Jay Lin for 3 off the back iron. Careless mistake though as the Pilots turn it over. Si Jinyao among some Pilots teammates who really got to get it going, or perhaps need to find their focus. Taking last game, for example, between himself, Pong Pong, and Ayo, only 47 minutes played, 12 points, but minus 69 for the 3 of them. Of course, caveat being they played a lot of those minutes together. Mouse and Jeremy on the side as Ayo gets a touch of it. Back door, way overshoots the basket as the help defense came over. 2.5 to go. The lead for the Steelers is only 2. Looking off the defense as Guan Dayo will overshoot his free attempt. Admittedly, it was a little cooler earlier as quick double team called for a foul. In fact, I think it could be a triple team there. More rotation for the Steelers. They do play a few more guys at home than on the road. Rotationally, let's get another look. Jeremy wrapped up by Justin there. Quick inbounds, but Taoyuan thinks twice. Rejecting the screen, going to the mid-range, floating it up, but a miss as Mouse takes advantage for the rebound. Ayers not that happy about the box-out effort by Mouse there. Guanayo leaves it off to Pong. There's a whistle and the bucket. So for every Steelers score, the Pilots have had an answer. Guan Dayo finally finding his way back onto the floor. Played 10.5 minutes, 3 assists game against the Braves, as now it's Ayers who gets an offensive board. Camino's trying to signal a defensive scheme. Looks like it's a part man, part zone coverage. Oh, Joby trying to Euro down to the Mouse. What a pretty pass on the play. In Mandarin, we call this or actually no, in English, mixing up my languages, they call it a triangle 2 with Ruzilu also manned up. Guanayo guarded by Jeremy, and he's going to commit a loose ball foul with Jeremy taking it in the face. Well, he recovered real quick. Get another look at the crossover as Jeremy's good hands and catching the left hand of Guan Dayo. Ayers leaving Jerry open as the crowd urges him to shoot. On the catch and shoot another time, but still no good as this time a team rebound by the Pilots. Pong. Little hook pass intercepted by Jeremy. Took it down the floor as they commit a foul on Olu Joby running down. I wouldn't say malicious or mean, but Ayers did give him a two-handed shove, but then hugged him right away after the foul was called. Quickly, the Pilots have caught up. Kind of like how Kenny Manigault will, and any good steal artist, they'll kind of lay low and sneak their hands up for the steal. That's what Jeremy did there on the transition. Joby seeking the first free throw. He's already got 4 points. Can't make it 5. He and Wendell Lewis paired up together are 4 wins and 0 losses. That working in the Steelers' favor as Justin kept a tight eye by Ruzilu. A wild pass out of bounds. Not a good play by Ayers. Substitution as Jamarcus will make his way onto the floor for the first time today, along with Wendell Lewis and Wang Yuxiang. So a lot of sub for the Steelers. I wonder if that's intentional with an important game tomorrow as well. Jamarcus with 7 seconds left down to Olu Joby. The double comes, they do whistle. Jackie Li Jiakang stayed in as Pong was at a speed disadvantage for last 3 and 0.7 of a second. Cho Bo-zhang will come in for defense. Joby makes the adjustment for the first free throw. His counterparts, Ayers and Washburn, 3 straight games against the Steelers, who are certainly trying to find their form, but also trying to get their game feel back. Missed free throw and 2 seconds left. Juan Dayo to Jackie. He got it off in time, and it was close off the backboard. But a 6-point lead for the Steelers after the first quarter. Need to win today to keep the season going.
想要的站起来好不好？好，小心 ，sorry， 不好意思，不好意思，有受伤吗？好的，来，雄亲们小心哦，这个沙包有一些重量哦。好的，请4位拿到沙包的雄亲们呢，在第2节倒数最后2分钟的时候，来到我们的东出口，寻找我们的工作人员报到，谢谢你们。
Tomorrow, the Dreamers are here to play the Steelers, and the Braves and Lioneers finish off our regular season in Hsinchu. Of course, plenty of signage wherever the Steelers play post their debut of their point guard, Jeremy Lin, vying for sneakers or jerseys. Pilots have 4 of their players who started the game on the bench, with Washburn, and the Steelers going with Olujobi, Wendell Lewis, and you could say 3-ish point guards with Jeremy, and Little Lou, who's kind of moonlights as a point guard. A little backdoor, but in and out for Jeremy's mid-range shot. Juan Dayo running the show for the Pilots. Only seen about 10 minutes of action per game when he does get in. Catch and shoot opportunity, still no good. As we mentioned, the Pilots started off, if you can believe it, cold from outside. Jeremy dishing off to Taoyuan with confidence, but a miss. Long ricochet to the Steelers. Little dribble drive as Olujobi spinning. I can't fight through the defense of Washburn. The Steelers are a rather strong team when they return to the full extent as Sijinhao tries a fadeaway. Don't see that very often. They are 3-1 in the first game after playing on the road. Little jump ball finally called by the refs. A couple pilots and Jeremy onto the hardwood as Ambi will come in for Pong Pong. The funny thing about that stat of the Steelers is that 2 of those games were against the Braves and 2 of those games were against the Lioneers. And a little quirky schedule making. Ambi's back in. Looking for Liu Junxiang on the handoff. Tried to step back, but off the side of the backboard, and Washburn took a spill on the rebounding attempt. Short-handed, Ambi comes in there with a block on Lewis. He had a big one against Igor Zaitsev outside on the 3-point perimeter, and had one on his collegiate teammate in KJ, getting his work in early. As Xiaobai's in there for killer Guan Dayou. To the corner, Little Lu fires away and a swish. Xiang is right now the biggest threat from outside for the Steelers. Under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Washburn will try to three, but that one had some sideways spin on it. Justin's turn, and too strong as Andy got his hand on it, but it batted to a Steeler. Lots of attention on Jeremy as they commit a foul on the push. And I don't know why the scorers table hasn't signaled again, but that's our timeout called by the Pilots. Right now find themselves down by 9 in the first half. It's another break for you, the audience. We'll be right back.
好的，这边的雄心，好的，这位妹妹非常的热情。
PLeagueofficial.com/shop, where you can get your Plus League branded gear. Kaohsiung Athena finally finding their way to their seats over on the visitor side basket in the second row. The home team, unlike their last game against the Braves where they were down early. Olujobi to Yowei, right back to Olujobi. He fires it to Weber, fresh in the game. Off the mark, but there's Taoyuan making a contribution. Down low, and Andy gets his hand on it for a swat. Now loose ball on the ground, won by the Pilots. Trying to find some rhythm on the offensive end. Not on the same page. 9 seconds left. Ayao will take the contact, but floated up for a miss. Gary over his head as Wendell Lewis gets the lay-in. Now extending the lead to 11 points. Washburn with Jeremy coming to help, but goes to the other side for the reverse. Look down the other way, it's Olujobi trying to fight between two. A lot of free throws for number 0. Get another look at the defense being a little bit behind. If you need a reminder, Olujobi, 74% free throw shooter on the season. On the game, modest 2 for 4. Now the last game off, revealed by head coach Tony that he had a heat stroke in the days leading up to the game, so gave him a chance to recover from that. In his place, you could say Goku Natesan, 21 points on 5 made threes. And again, splitting the trip. Cross screen for Andy doesn't open things up as Jackie, not quite the outside threat. So Calvin will get a chance, and again, off target. Hopping for a 3, Weber off 2 feet this time as they fight for the rebound. They say foul on Jackie. That'll be 3 on the Pilots, changing the narrative from the first quarter to the second. Substitution for both teams. So the Steelers, I mentioned they expand their rotation a little bit. The biggest changes was Weber off the bench for Captain Lou, and Little Lou subbed by Jerry in the starting lineup today. But with 2 tough games, they definitely will rotate a lot. Jerry trying to off-time it. Rebound to Wendell Lewis, another one. I believe that is 5th of the game. This time getting a chance to go one-on-one, but 2 bigs in his face. He'll get a team rebound. The Pilots have had no answer for the big from Selma, Alabama. Went to Miss State and Alabama State. Running low on time. It's off the hands of Xiaobai. The Steelers are a big threat on the baseline inbounds plays, especially with Jeremy in there. Captain finding a little space, a tough fadeaway, missing off glass, and there's Lewis once again, rebounding in amongst the trio, or I guess the trio of Pilots down low. Slowly but surely creating some distance. They slip pass and they call a foul on the hold. Only the first by the Steelers on the quarter. Get a sense that in this, they're kind of protecting Air's rotational minutes as you see Lewis in amongst the Pilots' interior. The combination of him and Olujobi do create a lot more scoring opportunities down low. As Calvin trying to fight through a bunch of contact, loose ball on the floor, through the wickets of Taoyuan, and now it goes out of bounds. They save for the Steelers. With a little college basketball treatment on the Pilots bench side. The duo of Olujobi and Lewis increases the Steelers' points in the paint from 41 up to 57. And in those 4 games, it was Dreamers, Lioneers, Pilots, Lioneers. Jeremy back in there, methodically bringing it up court. Running a little alternated horn set, maybe getting an extra pop. As Olujobi getting the putback. Down to Pong Pong, but out of his reach. As right now the Pilots, mistakes on both ends of the floor. Lucky bounce to Ethan, though not in that much of a hurry. Washburn got his eyes off of it, and a turnover. Go the other way. Olujobi for the two-handed dunk, and another timeout called by the Pilots as they look completely disinterested in the game. It's 12-2, the scoring on the quarter. Another look at Yu running ahead of the pack and finding the slightly trailing Olujobi, feeling himself as he is the leading scorer for the Steelers with 10 points, tied with Wendell Lewis. The Pilots having a lot of one-import lineups, and their local bigs and local guards have not done the job. Well, the research done by Tai Jingjing pregame in the first half for the Steelers in their 13 wins, they've had as much as a 16.5 point lead in those wins. It's only down to 8.7 in their losses, and the time leading the game 15-30 to 10-16. Right now, the biggest lead in the game already sitting at 16 points. Their biggest deficit in their wins is only as much as 5 points.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
They're in control of the rhythm, both on the offensive and defensive end. The Pilots had a much better effort against the Braves, who had a crazy hot shooting game, especially to start things off. 16 for 33 overall. Braves had 8 players making a 3. The Pilots, not too bad themselves, had 9, though 14 for 39 is not quite as accurate. In fact, every single Pilot that made it on the floor had a 3-point attempt. Steelers kind of zoned up now. Ethan maneuvering around Jeremy, going off glass, and another miss. The basket's unfriendly. Little dribble pull-up, no good. Well, Ethan's shot making abilities is definitely one thing he needs to improve big time. Front runner for Rookie of the Year candidate as Chen will try it from 3, but there's a bad miss. A foul, just compounding the issues for the Pilots. Another look at the left forearm causing the stop, but that's a violation. That's a foul, the referees say. Well, Jeremy's the biggest problem for any opponent, but against the Pilots in particular, 39 minutes per game, 29 points per game, 9 rebounds, 8.8 assists. Also got to throw in steals and 1.3 blocks per game, plus 15 per appearance. 4-0 against the Pilots. Floating a big pass out to Ethan. Wide open for 3, and the misses are getting worse and worse for the Pilots. Quickly down for Jeremy, sneaking it in there for the lay-in, and without any timeout, Camino's and the road team at the mercy of the Steelers. probably the worst defensive scenario for the Pilots is Jeremy leaving all kinds of space for Houston, as Ayers also, I don't even know if he got any of the basket there. The Steelers are going for the lowest scoring half. That's 23 points that they set in the very first season. Lewis in the high post looking for an outlet. Jeremy slipping the pass, and Lewis slams it with 2. And the rout is on by 20 points. Ayers avoiding the steal attempt, will slip through and float it in. Don't see that very often from number 4. Finally stopping the scoring run as Captain Liu looks off the pass and missing with the 3. Pilots probably could benefit from pushing up the pace a little bit. Down to Washburn, but Lewis always poking his hand in there at the right time. Trying to fade it away through contact as Calvin missed that first opportunity, and another shot clock violation. Washburn, before heading off, try to get the ref's attention and say the ball hit the rim. No such luck. As Jeremy will go off for Jiubo. Having a little chat with the Steelers translator and Oscar. Now Lewis from the elbow. Bigger threat as the Pilot zone shifts around. Captain Liu open again, but a wayward shot. Guan Dayo trying to play through contact, and loose ball to Jerry. Out to Olujobi, finally matched up by Guan Dayo. They swing it around, and Choupo too strong. The Steelers haven't been scoring with a crazy high efficiency themselves, but their defense has done the job. A 4-point quarter would tie the Steelers for the low mark as Ayers buries the 3. So avoiding that ugly mark on the game for the Pilot side. Now the Steelers asking for a timeout. The season series belongs to the Steelers.
反击还是有机会，我们前面的箭头要清楚，后面他才知道怎么传。第一传传不到，透过边再进来，没有再拉回来，进攻落位就很好落位了。来，再来 ，come on，1, 2, 3。
Tony Chen Zilong, last season's head coach of the Pilots, until he resigned because of the record, taking over for Hong Chi-Cao, who was the interim head coach for the Steelers in this season. Giving his team the instruction to push the pace if they can. As right now the Pilots look very disinterested in trying to get a victory. The Pilots, as mentioned, won the first 3 games against the Steelers, but the Steelers took the last 4. And so, as it stands right now, as Joby tries from 3 and got it. Easy play out as a timeout. Looks like they're pretty solid to at least have the season split, and if not, their only season victory against any opponent, the Steelers. They do have 3 wins against all the other teams in the Plus League at least. Ambi screens, but they say illegal screen. Another look at what Ambi was doing. He was popping a little bit too much, and the hip went out too. Not as impressive as his last game, where he had 14 points, his first double-digit scoring game, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Less than a minute to go, an elevator play for Jeremy, who tries. It's short. 2-for-1 opportunity that the Pilots really need to take advantage of. Bandayo and airs. Little pick and pop. Nothing yet as Mutulu went to the floor. Justin well short with the floater. It's been a mess for the Pilots today as Joby behind the back, but possession saved by Taoyuan. Been contributing on that column 3 or 4 times today. Jeremy with time running out, crossing over right, loose ball to Femi, beating the clock, and it's in! First half time will expire, and it's a 20-point lead. Steelers over the Pilots. The second to last game of their season, still playing hard, and the Pilots have a destined date against the Braves.
声音就知道我们又要来送福利给大家啦！要去上厕所的朋友们留步哦，或者是赶快上完赶快回来，因为我们今天一样带好礼物要送给现场所有的球迷朋友们。首先，先教大家要如何参加我们的抽奖呢？赶快拿出你的手机，扫描上面2个大萤幕的 QR code， 下载我们的17直播，注册完成，进入我们雄青福利社的直播间。然后就可以开始参加我们的活动了。要怎么参加呢？首先，我们先跟大家分享一下我们今天的3大奖品。首先，第1大奖是我们的5000块奖金，会不会这么好？来看球赛，支持钢铁人还可以抽奖金。手机赶快拿出来，赶快进入我们雄青福利社直播间。再来，我们第2大奖呢是我们的王绿翔签名应援毛巾。有喜欢我们王绿翔球员的球迷朋友们，千万不要错过啦！赶快抽起来！喜欢毛巾的朋友，让你带回家。再来，我们第3个好礼物就是我们舒豪的商赛的棒球帽。喜欢我们舒豪的，又有需要帽子的，有想要带回家做纪念的，赶快手机拿出来，关键字刷起来，礼物很可能就是你带回家喽。好，那我们今天的关键字是什么呢？我们等一下会有请我们的买家帮我们跟大家公布一下今天关键字是什么嘞？
好的，我们今天的关键字呢，就是主题周的名字“铁定有你”，加上什么区、什么牌、什么号，就是这么简单。铁定有你，加上什么区、什么牌、什么号。
OK， 谢谢买家公布我们的关键字，记好了吗？铁定有你，加上你的座位，不要写到你隔壁的同学哦，像是你隔壁雄青要把礼物带回家。好，那我们除了刷关键字，我们还有礼物要送给线上投票的朋友。怎么投票？先跟你们说一下，把手机打横，进入直播间之后把手机打横，上面有3个选项，任
我们在第一节呢。
Welcome to halftime， 球迷朋友们 ，Oh My Basketball 是我本人在 Ivy Bar 学英文吧，教你篮球的英文术语，搭配 P.LEAGUE 的影片，打造全新的线上课程。欢迎大家在资讯栏里面点击连结一起学习。左崇凯 and 菜包蔡晴晴 on the Mandarin broadcast. I'm Ryan Chen solo this afternoon in a rather uncomfortable Fengshan Stadium where the air conditioning is not working as it's intended. There's the halftime combined team statistics where the Steelers have a 20-point lead at half. Not even shooting the three ball that well, 5 for 23, but they've grabbed a lot of offensive rebounds and second opportunity points and have only had one turnover to the Pilots' 8, completely winning this game, if not for mercifully not being that accurate from the outside themselves. In the first 3 games, the Pilots scored 100 against the Steelers, but in the last 4, averaging only 81.5, and they'll have a big task to even get to that mark today. That's impressive because the last 3 out of 4 games between these two teams, it was in Taoyuan, the home of the Pilots. The biggest thing, of course, is the local scoring, because Caminos and the Pilots will be playing a lot of one-import lineups in today's game, and presumably when they're playing at the best, their Pilots are. Now on the Steelers side, they are currently on a 5-game home winning streak. Their last loss to the Braves all the way on March 25th, 95-101. Though one note I had is their defense wasn't as good at home as you probably would expect, giving up 95 points per game, 5 games, 100 plus points, no games below 80, but they look like they are well on track for a nice performance on the defensive end here. So loose balls and effort on the defensive end. Schematically, it's very easy for the Steelers, especially when they could put Jeremy Lin on the weakest shooting perimeter player. Whether that's today not having a great shooting day, Chen or Chen Lihuan, Guan Dayou, Lu Junxiang, all of those players, even Zhang Zhenyang, 0 for 2 on the game. Meanwhile, the Steelers, talk about their cold shooting start, have had to figure out how to play Chen Youwei, who's 0 for 8 to start the game, Liu Zhenlu, who's 0 for 6, as all the players are trying to battle the high temperatures inside the building with a chance to get cooled off for the second half. But the Steelers need this victory to get within 1 game of the Dreamers and force a decisive game of 119, the last regular season game for the 2 respective teams. We'll go to one more break in our next segment after this.
第3位参赛者获得4盒洋芋片，恭喜你！来，最后一位。好，总共3位吧。好的，没有关系。来，我们3位参赛者，请把我就到场中央，我们一起合个影、留个念，然后拍张照做个纪念。来看向前方的镜头，3、2、1，来灿笑。来看向我们2号机，3、2、1。好的，再次感谢3位参赛者，3位雄心可以回座休息了，谢谢你们，谢谢。
谢谢买家带我们这么好玩的中场游戏。
好的，继续把时间交给小杜呀。
谢谢我们帅气的买家，没有错。刚刚我们比赛同学呢，就是把我们手上的洋芋片直接投篮进洞了，我们手上的洋芋片直接可以让你带回家。恭喜刚刚以上的得主。那我们现在再提醒一下现场的朋友，我们再给你们倒数30秒的时间，我们要来抽关键字了。上厕所回来的朋友，赶快进入我们雄青福利社的直播间，留言刷起来。再跟大家复习一下，我们今天送的好礼有什么呢？首先，第一大奖是我们5000块的奖金，要让你带回家。第2大奖呢是我们王绿翔的亲笔签名的应援毛巾，有喜欢的朋友千万不要错过啦。最后一个大奖呢，就是我们梳好的香赛的刺绣的棒球帽。以上3个大奖，等一下我们就要在留言关键字抽出来喽。稍后我们就要准备倒数了，你们准备好了吗？我们要来准备倒数哦，5、4、3、2、1，请截图。好的，在我们工作人员现场截图我们的得 前呢，再提醒大家一下，现在请你们把手机打横，上面的3个投票，任意一个投票的名都可以投，投入了之后就可以抽我们的线上投票的礼物。我们线上的投票是我们的17钢铁人的联名榜发，我们一样稍后会我们马上抽出来。哦，好，我们等一下要重新再抽一次，因为我们刚刚接到的图，我们的那个关键字的朋友，你没有留座位哦，你要记得留座位。关键字铁定有你，加上你的座位，什么区、什么牌、什么号。那我们先来抽投票，好不好？我们现在抽投票，大家投好了吗？准备好了吗？我们要暂停投票，先来抽投票的人哦。我们要来准备倒数喽，5、4、3、2、1，投票系统暂停。好的，叫我们的工作人员截图告诉我们今天投票的。如果今天不来拿的话，你们的礼物会被我们充公到明天的球迷朋友手中了。那我们等一下呢，钢铁人的这个雄心福利社直播间，我们在场边会继续抽出礼物送给我们线上朋友。我们在场边也会访问我们的钢铁女神雅典娜的学妹练习生，所以大家稍后呢可以一边关注我们的钢铁人直播间，也可以一边关注我们现场的球赛。那我们现在把时间交还给我们场中的买家。一起来吧，一起来吧，一起来吧，一起来吧！
再次感谢小毒药带来精彩的中场主题时间。
Live 在一起，精彩任意，
每个瞬间都有你在。17 Live。
jet set, watch the sunset, kinda. Yeah, yeah. Rolling eyes back in my head, make my toes curl, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you got that yummy, yum, that yummy, yum, that yummy, yum. You stay flexing on me. Yeah, you got that yummy, yum, that yummy, yum, that yummy, yum. Say the word on my way, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe. Any night, any day. Say the word on my way, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe. In the morning or late. Say the word on my way.
Little Sally Walker walking down the street. She didn't know what to do, so she jumped in front of me. Little Sally Walker walking down the street. She didn't know what to do, so she jumped in front of me. I said, go on, girl, do your thing, do your thing, do your thing. Go on, girl, do your thing, do your thing, stop. Go on, girl, do your thing, do your thing, do your thing. Go on, girl, do your thing, do your thing, drop. Go. Little Sally Walker shake it proper bend it over, make it wobble got a lot of buns. Pick it up and drop it for the proper fun.
The new Taipei Kings finished their regular season tonight in Hsinchu against the Lioneers. Oscar Gogolhall finding his scoring touch, but the team trying to break a losing streak and give their fans a little bit of hope for next season. So the theme is Tieting Yoni. You had to be there for the Steelers, needing to win 2 in a row, and the specifics include winning by at least 6 against the Dreamers tomorrow. Though the way the game is going today, they might be able to accomplish a 32-plus point victory against the Pilots, which would then give them the tiebreaker if they would have won by 5 points tomorrow. Steelers start with the basketball. The Pilots showing a little bit of a zone or a triangle and 2 that they featured in the first half, as Taoyuan bounces it to Lewis for another putback score, as nobody came over to help on the rebound. Well, Jeremy's half of 4 points. He's 12 away from his plus league individual game low. Jiakong wildly throwing up a layup. And it'll be out of bounds off the Pilots. Now a little pistol set that Jeremy backs way out of, letting the rest of the team go 4-on-4. And rotated around as Olujobi will try from 3, but it dances out. Pilots are not doing much to really get the ball inside, especially with their disadvantage shooting the 3 today. Guandayo will pop 3, but an abysmal 15% shooting the 3. Looks like it's continued at least in the first 2 minutes. Little big-to-big passing as Wendell Lewis has the touch. A 4-point run for the Steelers to get things started off in the second half. The Pilots in the last game against the Braves scored 34, giving up 44. There's a whistle, a jump ball. Will stay with the Steelers. So that's now 2 halves or 4 quarters that the Pilots have played fairly poorly in. They did win the 4th quarter 21-18. Mostly off of Jason Washburn. 11 in the quarter. Jackie catching and driving, putting it up and off the glass for another miss. Nothing going right for the Pilots. Jeremy floats it to a pass, blocked by Amdi from the back. No, the referees say that's a foul. It was the lead official. You know, look, Jeremy, I thought he was going for the shot, but then you see the flick of the wrist. Could be a A to B foul. Adding to number 0's point total as Jeremy will get another assist. That makes it 4 on his afternoon. Well, that free throw shooting is a little bit, could be concerned. Washburn double, though the help side defense, they call a foul on Jeremy. Very aggressive. A little too aggressive, they say. You know, look for yourself. Well, I'm sure Jeremy's arguing he got basketball. And once again, the funny thing is he's arguing with the wrong referee. They're calling referees the opposite of the scores table. Washburn in with the first. No Pilots scoring in double digits. There's Jeremy coming in with a rebound. Jeremy getting the small-to-small screen by Jerry. Now going to the cup, swallowed but fouled. It's going to be on Sijingyao, who was coming in from the help side. No, it was Sijingyao, the primary defender, Amdi coming in to help. Now, the biggest lead that the Pilots have overcome was 12 points against the Steelers, but all the way back on December 11th. Jeremy has a huge task if he wants to get his free throw percentage up to 90%, which he was for the first stretch of games in the Plus League. 2-for-2 trip that time. The season down to, if you could say down to, 83.8%. 2 misses against the Braves at the charity stripe as Guan Dayo had that one poked, and they'll say off of him. Joby and Jeremy Lin coming over, caused the turnover. And he's out. Wu Jingxiang. To the corner, Joby wants to run the offense. Now Lewis trying to get to that right-hand hook. We'll give it up as Ayao, decent defense. Now Amdi swatting that up off the top of the backboard. At least it's a shot clock violation for the Steelers. I believe they're first of the game. The Pilots have a couple themselves. Up by 26 points. The Steelers content with sinking into their defensive area. Justin will fire away a 3 as Washburn, 1 miss, 2 misses. Their sneaker's a little bit off as he's trying to make the adjustment running back. So anyway, hesitates at first, now lets it fly, and there's some relief for the crowd and certainly for number 4, as they'll call a little stoppage for Jason Washburn to put the shoes on. And for some reason, for Jerry's effort, he's going to get subbed out for Little Lou. There you see Washburn had a good look for one, but no good as you see him kind of fall a little awkwardly. So much for finally breaking the seal on the basket if you're Taoyuan. Washburn out to Ayo, fakes the shot up, and misses the close one with Amdi, a possible target as Olujobi throws it all the way down. Well, that'll force the Pilots to take it just about 94 feet, the full length of the court. Dong Zilong with a still stern look on his face. Victory not in hand yet. Now Sujian from the outside as Washburn, this time on the other side, gets the score. Pilots need a lot more of that. Mid-range for Jeremy, too strong. And there, 2 consecutive rebounds secured by the team in the right. Justin driving, thought he got hit, but got his own board back. Ayo again, faking the shot, and then going with the drive, but Wayward with the rebound. Ambi still fighting. And another stop for the Steelers. Now Jeremy breaks his seal. Number 7 now with his 7-8-9 point of the game. Justin, kind of funky footwork down to Washburn. He'll get the score and the foul. Counted as Olujobi kind of wrapped him up down low. Subs as the Steelers going a little smaller with Mouse and Captain Liu ready to come in. But this is our first break of the second half. Enjoy the following messages.
Chen Plus 的大口吃寿司 Camp 的活动，所以呢，被拍到的雄亲们记得张开你的嘴巴，大口的吃寿司。来，雄亲。请张开嘴巴，大口吃寿司标准动作，谢谢你们，非常的好。来，我们的小小雄亲们，张开嘴巴吃寿司啦！标准动作，感谢这位雄亲，非常好，笑得非常的开心哦。非常好，标准动作，感谢这位男性的雄亲。
Indeed, a sellout here in Fongsan, the second to last game of the Steelers season, of the regular season that is. Right now putting a beating on the visiting Pilots, who look completely disinterested and deserving of all of you, the viewers' criticism. At this point in the game, they're also being out-rebounded by 5, and as mentioned during the first half, have not been able to force hardly any Steelers turnovers, only 2 on the game. And one of them was a team turnover as well. Meanwhile, they're shooting only 3 for 21 from 3, 8 for 29 from 2. Whoever is really going to the basket except Jason Washburn. Can't buy a basket. Now Jeremy probing, now passing to Weber in the corner. Who's strong, and Femi's there. Trying it again, but this time the slip pass to Mouse again blocked by Amdi. Well, one thing is happening for the Pilots. Amdi with now his 4th block as Washburn over the top of Olujobi. Finally over the 30-point mark. The big skip pass to Weber. Trapped by Zhang Ziya, but they said a little bit of a tripping there. Another look for yourself. Kind of tough, but the right call by the referees. Jerry to Lewis, not in the right spot exactly. Handling, diffusing. Jeremy Lin almost had the 3. And 3 out of the 4 losses by the Steelers since February 12th. Jeremy has not made a 3, so it's kind of a pretty easy barometer for how successful the Steelers would be in a game, as Justin lets it fly. They whistle in transition. Captain Wu will come in for Jeremy. Lewis with Amdi guarding, but the double flashing. He puts it up. There's 4.5 to go in the 3rd, but I'm sure Coach Tony wants the margin even bigger, as even Ethan misses the layup. But finally the Pilots force a turnover and have a little bit of momentum down the floor. Justin crashed into, he'll go to the line. Missing 2 points on one trip, but getting a foul out of the second. You get another look at Lu Junxiang, more so tripped up than fouled on the hands. It's only the 2nd foul on Taoyuan, as the Steelers have been relatively disciplined with their defense. Lu Junxiang, perfect 2nd free throw. Against the Steelers, he does average 18 points per game, but only on 35% from the field. A good contest by Mayao, Tanzania's Aboriginal name. Air is fresh in the game. He sinks the 3. Letting off some steam after that one. Captain Lu going to the finger roll. And then bumping into maybe his protege on a different team in Zhang Zhenghua. A little excuse me foul on the rebound. Get another look at Mouse, helping out a little too much. Now Justin on the drive, taking on Jamarcus, who took the blow and forced the miss. Olujobi given space. Can't take advantage as the ricochet finally won by Washburn. As we need a reminder, the Steelers have been very aggressive on the offensive board. My note before the game was Jamarcus 3.3 offensive rebounds per 36. Leads all plus league guards. Kind of being done by more traditional bigs. The top three for the elbow jumper. Camino's urging his team to push the pace. Xiaobai and Maya are not on the same page on the pass, so they'll be Washburn on the post up. Decent passing is trying to fight through Jamarcus, and there he goes with two. Olujobi better friends with Jamarcus. Not going with Weber on that same side. But a steal as Wendell Lewis, one-man Division, lays it in with two, and the lead back above 20 points. A little bit more comfortable in the arena, but not if you're a fan of the team in white. Picked up the dribble and now needing some help as Ethan will go to the basket. Yes, they count it. Foul as Jamarcus wasn't closing out in a disciplined enough fashion, says the referees. A little bit of the left arm is a little bit of the hip. Finally sub for the Steelers as Little Lou comes in for Captain Lou. Now it's the Pilots who are Ayers and Pong Pong in. Any way to give the players another breath. Ball gets away from the referee and the inbounder. Now pistol with Little Lou and Jerry. They move away from it as Weber tries again. And then got the start against the Braves. 3 for 5 on the field goal side of things. Also threw in 3 steals. Less than a minute in the third at 59-40. After Little Lou kind of runs into the defense, will get his own trip to the free throw line. Haven't said much of his name in the game after those early threes that he made. Got the Steelers going. Taipei native would have been a Brave if not for the post-draft trade. But the Steelers needed some depth at all positions. Little zone breaker for the Pilots as Justin hesitates. Over to the other side, Maya overshoots it. That was a good look. But he has also been an 0 for on the game, shooting the 3 ball. Well, they might have not had the lowest halftime score, but it looks like the lowest score after 3 quarters. Olujobi pulling up. No good, and with 2 seconds left, Ethan floating it, and again, a close miss. That'll be 3 quarters in the books and the 4th and final frame for our mercy end to the game. Steelers in control.
I'm on my own on a Friday night. My friends are on my phone, they keep blowing up my line. Send me your location, the Uber's outside. Running out of time. If we're going out for the night, I'ma meet you down on the floor. Oh, tell me when you're out for the night. We can get it started, let's go. Just watch me dance. Just watch me. Tonight we're going out. Tonight we're going out. Hi, I'm Charlie, baby. Tonight we're going out. Just watch me.
再一次掌声还有尖叫声，感谢钢铁女神雅典娜，谢谢他们。第四节比赛即将开始，邀请太古达人 Tony 带领雄鸡。
Kaohsiung Athena in a new outfit finished their third quarter performance. Well, it's not all bad news if you're the Pilots. The good news is in the very first season, they lost 8 out of their last 10 games of the regular season, getting a victory third to last game against the Dreamers to clinch. And the good news is they played a competitive series against the Dreamers in the Challenge Series. And whoever gets another three-point try, this time he splashes it. Assist to Jeremy Lin, who has a really high chance of leading the league in assists despite not having the qualified games. So the league opted to take his 27 would-be game average, as now he's tied up with Ayers. Ethan again can't buy a basket. Well, the Pilots in that first season were playing poorly to end the regular season, as Pong stuffs Femi Olujobi. Ayers not wasting any time off with the three. Well, they got blown out by the Dreamers, 102-63. Ooh. He shows off the nice handle. Calvin a little double down. That game came a day after Kadeem Jack and Davon Reed, their two imports for the most part during the season, departed from the team, both with injuries that they wanted to begin their rehab work early. There you see the spin move and a couple easy steps. Jeremy taking on the less experienced rookie in Ethan. Well, how did the Pilots make it competitive? Well, how about a 19-point comeback in game 2? 6 turnovers and 2 for 12 shooting by the Dreamers from 3. Backdoor cut off by the Steelers. Pilots will hang on. So that was good. The last playoff game at home for the Pilots. In game 3, a 15-point comeback after being down by 9-19 in the third quarter. Pong Pong kind of psyching out Captain Liu, who jumped too early on the rebound. The Pilots had a 30-12 fourth quarter to win game 3 and make it 2 in a row, as Jackie, his 3 halfway down and out. But in game 4, the Dreamers, as Jeremy again, too easy, taking Ethan to school with that finger roll, this time on the right side. Little change of pace. Well, anyways, the Dreamers' turn to blow things out again, 103-74. Hicks and Young, 39 points, 17 rebounds. 20 points, 13 rebounds respectively. Full head of steam. Ayers finally getting the basketball. Does put a shot up on target before 3 seconds, as I'm sure the Steelers not super happy about how long he had in the paint, but getting a look at the change of speed as Ethan even got 2 hands on him. Could not throw off number 7. Well, the final winner-take-all game, because of COVID infections in the city of Taoyuan, the 2 teams in the league agreed to have the game 5 theoretically at the home of the Dreamers in Changhua. But it would be quote-unquote a neutral game with the DJ and the MC having a neutral feel to the game. Randall Walco, if you remember that name, had a dagger 3 to give the Dreamers a little bit of cushion. And the final shot by Sijingao to even win the game, but he airballed it in what could be described as a would-have-been hero's goodbye to the game. Deep shot by Weber, and that's 2 in a row for him. He seems to be ready to go for tomorrow. The lowest scoring game, if I remember correctly, is by the Lioneers this season. A full-time score of just 60 points against the Pilots. Oh yeah, wild 3. At least it was close. Again, the Steelers with a little bit of momentum. Will be 2 different sneakers. Team rebound for the Pilots, as now we are our first break of the 4th quarter. Going to look at Pilots in between defensive assignments, continuing to play a rough game here in Fengshan. Well, that's enough of me ribbing for now. One last commercial break of this broadcast. In regulation, we'll be back after this.
感谢各位雄心的热情。
Welcome back to the broadcast, where 5,231 hanging in there, as tomorrow, Sunday, with every passing moment, it seems more likely we're set for a Dreamers-Steelers final battle for the 4th place in the Plus League standings and a chance to play the Kings first round of the playoffs. Too physical. Weber called for the foul. The Steelers, last year, their inaugural season, did leapfrog the Pilots for 5th place, but not good enough to the playoffs, of course. Lucky for Calvin, they say it's off for the Steelers. So far, it's been a 10-2 run in the 4th quarter, as the Steelers have not let their foot off the gas pedal. Aya will try to float it as Washburn crashing the board and another reverse layup put back. Captain Liu air mails his 3 attempt. They want to find back his 4. Li Jiakang can't get the answer, and so many misses, a lot of physical rebounding not being called too. Aya finding some space, but could not get the pass off in time. If you need a reminder, the lowest scoring game in the Plus League happens to be the Lioneers playing against the Pilots, where the Lioneers only scored 60 points. If you want to look at this season, the Pilots' low score is 63 points. Nobody else was lower than 73 for the rest of the field. Little Lou flying across the lane and a pretty finger roll right around Washburn. Handoff game as Ayao bumped off his spot. They'll save a foul for the Steelers. 8 seconds on the clock as the Steelers get a line change going. Wang Yuxiang, second-year player, as mentioned, actually from Taipei, but given a lot of opportunity to play down here with the Steelers. Intentional out-of-bounds play. Aya to Washburn will at least get free throws. Four Steelers have scored in double digits, including Jeremy after he had 5 points in the third quarter and 4 points in the fourth quarter. Gotta wonder if his afternoon is over. But on the Pilot side, Jason Washburn, 17 points, leads them, Ayers with 13. No local player has more than 3 points. And as you probably do the math, nobody has more than 2 field goals made. Lewis fresh in the game, working with Weber. So the spacing is off with Little Lou finally clearing out. 3 seconds left. Jerry spinning through a wall of defense, and Pilots quickly down the floor. Calvin, early foul, and an extra credit coming up. The Pilots have had a number of three-point play opportunities. Zhang is in for Zhang Wei. Trying to crawl their way to 60 points. Ding Junhao, the 5th overall pick in the 2021 amateur draft. And the Steelers get a mid-range shot off their own board as Andy, good touch with the rebound there. A lot of falling bodies. Ayao tapped away. And another turnover. Good hustle by Jackie to cut that pass off. A little bit cooler than usual. Caminos talking with the number 67 official in front of the Pilots bench. It's a relatively young squad out there for the Steelers. Cho Bozang, 27. Wendell Lewis, most senior at 33 years old. Nice find and nice assist as the Pilots defense breaks down again. Again, good news, bad news. The Steelers held to 75, but bad news is they've only scored 48. Andy going with power and beating Bill on the block. And he'll get his own and one opportunity. So maybe not to Tony's liking, as the Pilots, at least on the quarter, have now made it a 10-12 slight deficit. Steelers do like to play a small lineup. It worked really well. And Taoyuan holding there. He's fresh in the game. Under 5 minutes to play, the Steelers looking for an opening. Taoyuan floats it up. No luck with the bounce. Washburn's got the mismatch. Now Andy with a jump shot of his own. A lucky bounce for him. In the game against the Braves, the international student 2 for 4 beyond the arc. Leans to the way of the Pilots, ready to come in the game. Lewis trying to go to the middle, pushes up the right hook. And again, a good stop for the Pilots. They played much better in the fourth. They foul early. Chen Li-Huan trying to do what he does. Junhao struggling to keep up right now, though dutifully trying to be on the basketball. Might have heard by the PA, Jeremy Lin's back in there. One little bit of run. Maybe to try to ensure his low scoring effort was only 16 points months ago. Calvin having made the first, can't get the second. And if you look at the free throws, 8 for 12 are the Steelers, 10 for 17 are the Pilots. They leave one Jeremy Lin open. There's at least 16 points for number 7. Little wrestling match down low that Andy went in, gets up enough for the dunk. From way downtown, Jeremy taking it into trouble. A 3-second turnover call. Finally leans away. Get his chance to come in. Get another look at the pilots out of position. They're looking Ambi's way, guarded by Captain Wu. As mentioned, they like playing with one big and four smalls, you could say. Taoyuan confidently hits the three. And the number to keep your eye out on is the margin. As more than 32-point victory for the Steelers will mean a 5-point win against the Dreamers tomorrow will give them the tiebreaker. As we mentioned, winning by 6 was the goal. Jeremy slicing and taking a hard fall on the trip. Trying to get yanked up by Amdi. Now he's ready to go. And a look. It's going to be on Taoyuan from behind. Cleaning up the hardwood as Jeremy ready to take the free throws. 2.5 minutes to go, but the Steelers poised to get their 17th victory on the season. And the Dreamers' elimination number, or magic number, excuse me, is still at 1. And after the free throws, Jeremy dutifully going off. His afternoon presumably in the books. 33 minutes played, 16 points, 10 rebounds, only 6 assists, but as mentioned, should be enough to put him at the very top of the assist leaderboard for the season. Wandayo jumps into trouble. Taoyuan puts up a nice step back or fadeaway three. In transition, Captain Luke can't show him how it's done. 2 minutes left for the Pilots to get 2 points. Avoid being the lowest or tied for the lowest scoring effort. Amdi down low. They say a foul first on the hold. It was close. Ling Junhao Bill is back in. Struggled in 2 seasons to find much playing time. Despite being relatively tall, longish arms, and a decent hop. Having played more than 25 minutes, Amdi's now missed a couple free throws. Does have 10 points and 9 rebounds. Vying for back-to-back double-double efforts. Leverage fade away. 2 bounces and out. And he lines it up, having hit previously. We're approaching 1 minute left in the game. Taoyuan, only 3 points. Trying to make the adjustment. without a working jump shot today. Joby trying to shoot it over Andy. Ended up being a pretty decent result. Washburn might have been blocked, but a couple possessions to finish this game off. See Andy, hands on his knees at the high post. It's not been an easy game for either team, but the Steelers show off the better form that they've been in. The final turnover, and Chen will just dribble it out. Across the timeline, and 80-60 is the final score. And the Steelers accomplished step number 2 in their 3-step program to make it to the playoffs. After both teams break from about the jump circle, Kenny Gall announcing that in his heart, most valuable player is Wendell Lewis. Well, maybe the fans will stick around a little bit longer as Jeremy now signing his jersey. We'll get the sneakers next. Customary giveaway. You see the Pilots only 20 points in the 4th quarter. And that lucky fan snatching the jersey. Chen Zilong will be the player interviewed, or the coach interviewed, excuse me.
有了。是。
Asked about the matchup with the Dreamers.
我先讲第一个大的情况哈，就是从接了球队之后到今天比完赛为止，其实那个危机并没有解除。那呢，我们昨天大家也有很好的共识，把今天当作是例行赛的最后一场球。那目的就是说，希望大家可以专注在今天的比赛，不要为了明天而患得患失。所以，我想我没有办法直接回答你的问题。今天的比赛完了之后，我们回去还要再开个会，看看明天怎么来跟梦想家来应应。
Tony's sharing simply that the focus was for the team to win today, not to think ahead to tomorrow's game. And asked about the challenge of playing on a back-to-back.
我想我还是相信我的球员，就是投篮不进本来就是起起伏伏。那我们开句玩笑讲，今天的命中率偏低，如果从2天的平均值来看，我们明天应该会有很高的命中率。
Now asked to
我
answer
想
for the
对钢
fans
铁人来讲，这是一个
looking forward to
很梦
tomorrow's
幻的
game.
一个 season。我觉得我们一直在强调，我们所有的人都要去享受、去珍惜最后几场的比赛。更何况明天有可能是我们钢铁人的球季的最后一场比赛。我想我们大家都会很珍惜每个过程，希望能够留下美好的回忆。
Saying that
谢谢。
just hoping for a good game and a full-hearted effort from both teams.
加油！再一次感谢各位雄青，谢谢你们。
A final word here in Fengshan Stadium, where the Steelers get the victory over the Pilots. And as mentioned, it's the second step and the second game that they've staved off elimination. And tomorrow, if you're a fan of drama, is the penultimate final game of the season, where the Steelers, if they win by 6 or more, will notch the 4th and final place in the playoffs. But if they can't, 5 points or a Dreamers victory will be the Dreamers making it to the playoffs. They have not missed it in 2 seasons. There's the standings after adding up the additional victory for the Steelers. And the Pilot season concluded having failed to reach 500, but with their playoff spot in hand. As mentioned during the broadcast, Pilots, no local had 2 field goals made. In the end, sub 30% from the field, and an effort that was lacking, as they'll be heading to the playoffs in a complete daze, I'd imagine, not having a real good tune-up game before they have to play the Braves. And on the Steelers side, the mentioned Wendell Lewis, 18 points, 11 rebounds. His early effort was indicative of how the Steelers were focused on taking the game, even if it took a lot more effort and not such polished scoring. He was joined by Jeremy with 18 points, who kind of came on the scene later. 14 of those coming in the second half. Femi Olujobi, 16 points, and Little Lu Wang Luxiang getting the scoring started early. The final game day of the Plus League regular season is the Dreamers against the Steelers, Braves against the Lioneers in their 2 respective games at 2:30 and 5. So on behalf of Kyle and 蔡晴景. I'm Ryan Chen. Thank you for watching this broadcast. We'll see you guys in the next one.
我想对刚